Hello and welcome, dear students, to this course for TV presenters. Maybe you have already had an experience in media and you are a TV presenter now, but most of our students, this course considered to be the starting point for them. So most of our students, they start their journey here from this day, from this class. So I welcome you in our first theoretical class in practical experience as a main key point of your future practical experience in media. So I'm Yara. For the last 10 years, I've been working as a TV presenter, as a journalist and coach in this school, and I help my students from all over the world to start their career on TV. That's why my congratulations to you for starting this course. And we should jump right here into our first theoretical material. But first things first, I would like you to think about before. I always ask my students, what do you consider to be the main key point, which is the main point for every presentation to be successful? What do you think about that? You can even put a pause here on this video and think about that. Which will be your answer to this question? What makes presentation being a great presentation, being a huge presentation, and you as a presenter feel yourself like a star? Think about it. This class, I believe it is divided into episodes, so you will be able to look through them to watch all these materials again and again and grab all these ideas and implement them in our practical experience. So I remind you that after this class, we'll have practical class over Zoom with a group where you meet all your students, all your group mates, and we'll work together in all these, in all this melting pot of ideas and skills which we are working on in order to get your goal realized, get your goal achieved. So my main message for you for this episode will be to tell you about the presentation, what is the presentation for the professional TV presenter, and how to prepare yourself in the best way you can in order to get all audience eyes on you. So let's start from scratch. What I recommend you to do now, to take your notebook, to take your pen, and write down some important details for you, because all of these details, you'll watch how this works. So let's start from this starting point. Think about your answer about for the question, what makes the presentation be just a fantastic presentation? Think about this. One key point or two. If you have your answers, let's move forward. So what about the message and delivering? What do you know about that? I believe you heard about that before, like there is a messaging and delivering system, but how to use it. Today we'll talk about that, and we'll keep in mind all the key points about this material. So first of all, I recommend you to think about your presentation in order of having 3 stages of your presentation, just 3, not 5, not 10, not 15, just 3. But here is my main advice for you, not to mess them up. Don't use your actions from the stage number 2 during stage number 1. And most of all, don't use the actions from the stage number 3 in the stage number 2. What I mean, first stage of your presentations will always be the preparation stage. So where you put all these things on your paper, put all these plans, which then will be like a trap for you. We all do this, but don't worry, hold on, we'll fix it. So my first advice for you will be to divide your presentation into 3 parts. First part will be preparation, and today we'll talk about that. Second part will be your presentation, and during our Zoom classes, there will be your preparation. And third part is the analysis. So while you will be analyzing your presentation, it should be only all after you will present something, after you present your ideas, your lives, or something. My advice for you, and the main mistakes which many people do always, is to mess up the third stage and the second one. So while presenting, you start making this analysis. What is good? and what is not good about your presentation. Don't do this. Stop doing this. So what is basically my advice? Where is basically my advice for you? My advice is mostly in order to think about all these stages separately. So first stage, for example, you have a week to ahead before your presentation, or you have the day before your presentation, or you are even 5 minutes away of your presentation. This is your period of first stage. First stage is preparation. So you need to fix all the details that should be fixed there and take all the steps and actions that you should take there, but not forget about all of that into second stage. Second stage of your presentation is the presentation itself. So when you meet the camera, or when you meet the audience, when you see all of that eyes on you, this is your star moment. Don't think about the stage number one, and don't jump into the stage number three where we should analyze everything and keep it in mind. No, the second stage is only your presentation. So what should be done there? You are presented. That's it. Most of all, this technique is like you are implementing all of that you planned before on the stage number one. That's why I invite you now to our stage number one, where we start. So think about the message which you would like to share with your audience. Now, just think about it now. It can be anything. So if you feel like you can be helpful with something to your audience, think about that. Do that. For example, our students, they work as coaches for people. For example, it can be in the gym, or health, nutrition, or relationships, or beauty. So think about how easy you can help the person you're just right now in this video for 4, 5, or even 2 minutes. Only one thought should be covered in one video. That's the main rule. Don't take everything that you know into one video. Don't write it. That will not work for you. So what will work definitely, you should think about on the first stage of your preparation, you should think about the message, separately the message. And secondly, there will be your delivering. So my first groundbreaking advice for you will be to divide into your preparation, your presentation into two different parts. One part will be for messaging, and second one will be for delivering. Do that. Because mostly going back to school, keeping in mind that experience, I remember that we were mostly focused on the message. We didn't think about the delivering. But while presenting, of course, on the first stage, we see the delivering. And all these gaps of your preparation of delivering, they will be there. That's why you're not self-confident enough while presenting. That's why you forget your text, because you're not confident in the output which you do now. So let's be focused first of all on the delivering. So your steps will be to think about the message and then jump into the delivering preparation. Here we are into the delivering. Delivering is divided again into two parts. So don't think now about the message. You should write it down into your notebook. My notebook is called The Story of My Life. I think it's a very successful name for the notebook, The Story of My Life and My Profession. That will be your name of your notebook. So you open it here and just write down that your delivering is divided into two parts. Part number one and part number two. Part number one will be audio delivering, so how I will hear you. And part number two will be, your second column will be visual delivering, how I can see you, how I can feel your involvement, my involvement as a viewer into your video. This is provided and this is activated by your visual and audio delivering. But being a professional with a capital letter means that we should work separately on your delivering and your audio form, your way of presenting. That's why delivering should be visual and audio. That's why you need to create lists, like a checklist for your future presentation into your first stage, means preparation. You should create lists, how you will sound and how we will see you, how we will get your energy from there, from your picture. That's why this class is dedicated mostly to visual and audio delivery. And at the end of the class, in our next episode, one of our next episodes, we'll talk about the messaging, how to provide the strong message and not to be in the trap of your delivering, your plans, and everything like this. That's why, coming to the conclusion of this episode, you should think about the three stages of your presentation: preparation, presentation, and analysis. And while being on preparation stage, you should think about two ways of delivering: audio and visual, and the message itself. When it comes to audio delivering, and we start just there from audio delivering, and in my next episodes, I will tell you how to activate everything that should be improved with your audio delivering: your voice, your intonation, your speech pace, your intonation patterns according to your program and the format, and your breathing techniques. That is our plan for our next episode. That's why I invite you to jump into the next episode and follow my tips in order to prepare yourself in the best way for you to present ideas the brightest way that you can. So see you in next episode.